The Consumer Price Index rose 7.5% year over year, and mortgage rates are now over 4%. You're definitely going to want to watch this one. Big news coming out of the mortgage world last week. Friday, February 11th, we saw 30-year fixed rates on conventional loans go north of 4%. Yes, north of 4%. The first time that's happened since 2019. And there's a couple reasons that happened. I want to unpack some of the behind-the-scenes things that caused the 10-year T-bill to react the way that it did. And then we can talk about what it's going to mean for people that are thinking about buying or selling a home now or in the next 6, 12, 18 months. So there was 2 additional market reactions that caused this jump. And this has been a lot faster than anyone predicted. The first was the Consumer Price Index is up 7.5%. And that's from January 2021 to January 2022. This is the largest increase we've seen since 1982. 40 years ago, this is the biggest jump that we've seen. The Consumer Price Index, what that means, if you don't know, it's the cost of goods that consumers purchase. And half of those purchases, half of those accredited items or purchase categories, whatever you want to call it, were shelter, electricity, and food. So we're seeing inflation is happening right now. That's a big jump, the biggest jump in 40 years. And on top of that, there was a reaction from the St. Louis Federal Reserve Chairman. His name is James Bullard, and he came out and said he'd like to see the Fed raise the Fed fund rate by 1 full point sometime this year, and that will be the first time we've seen more than a half-point raise since 2000. So we're seeing a lot of things happen that haven't happened in 22 and 40 years, and as a result, mortgage rates reacted, the market reacted, and they jumped up. Now, what I also know is when we saw the last jump, the 3.75, they kind of settled back in around like 3.55, 3 and 5/8. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see the market adjust a little bit here throughout the week of the 14th. But this is where they are right now. They're coming in above 4%. And what that means, so if you're a buyer, you want to pay attention here. Someone who was looking to buy a home in November, and now they're looking to buy a home in February, they lost $52,000 of buying power at the same price. So if your rate was at 2.71%, which was where they were coming in November, and your budget was $2,000 a month, you'd be able to afford a home then of $425,250. You fast forward that to now where we are in February at 4.1%, your buying power is now $375,750. So again, a little over a $50,000 decrease in purchasing power. So what does this all mean? There's a few things to consider. The first is that demand is still strong. Demand is very strong because of millennial home buyers. We've talked about that a lot, and people that don't own properties and they're looking to take that next step in their lives. Inventory is also very low. We're still seeing inventory come in around a month's supply in the suburbs and about 2.5 months in the city of Philadelphia. So because we have that typical supply and demand relationship, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about there, I don't see this changing the market in the short term. What I know is that this is going to cause even more buyers to move up their time frame to purchase. So if you're thinking about selling, don't make the mistake of waiting until the weather warms up, waiting until the spring or even early summer to sell. You want to be thinking about this right now. I'd be moving my plans up immediately if I was you so that you can take advantage of the demand, because the demand might putter out sometime around July, August, when we get into those summer months where the market seasonally slows down every year, except 2020. That was the outlier. If you're thinking about buying, you better be talking to your mortgage lender and understanding what's going on with rates, what you can afford, because that just changed. So you may not be able to afford the same house, and you might need to look at, well, do I want to trade X for Y? Do I need to readjust my must-haves? And have a meeting with your agent about what you want to do. Now, if you're thinking about buying later in the year, knowing that there's a call for the Fed to raise rates 2 to 4 times in 2022, I'd be looking at moving my purchase time frame up now. These rates have jumped up way faster than anyone thought, and as a result, you've got to adjust to react to the market. Now, obviously, there's a lot of data to unpack here, so if you got questions, you want to go over something in person or understand your situation specifically, our team is here to help. Otherwise, we'll be back next week, and keep an eye on this, and don't wait. Do the thing now that you need to do to position yourself to make the best financial decision possible. definitely going to want to watch this one.